Hey, this is Ben. It's the 48 stanza of The Art of Peace. I'm aware of the sun from the light. It's cold, but I can tell that the sun is right in front of me by the intensity of the light that's shining past the branches and past the trees. I feel it right now. I feel it hiding. I'm aware of the sun behind the tree. The center of my field of vision is not lit, but the edges are. Even with my eyes closed, I can tell that the sun is there, but it's presently behind something. And I can even tell it's moving by watching the light change behind my closed eyelids. From there, I go into my feet. Feel the sensation of a rotation right. Come to my pelvis. Feel the give of the lounge chair that I'm sitting on. It's one of those cast iron ones. I feel the give, but I also feel the hardness. There's a density. Come into my core. I feel the front of my pelvis, right where my groin comes in. I feel more pressurized on the left part, the left side of my pelvis, the bottom left. Bottom right doesn't feel as pressed into the chair. I feel a little bit of warmth leaking out of my core down the back left side of my body, underneath my jacket. I can feel that. I can kind of feel it in both directions. It feels like the warmth is seeping out and the cold is seeping in. The cold is using the warmth as a ladder to work its way further into my awareness. It's vying for my awareness. And in this instant, I feel a bug on my Adam's apple. I can feel its tiny, tiny, tiny little feet moving. It seems to be, in my mind, it feels like it's getting bigger. It feels, other parts of my skin are starting to respond. There's tension showing up in my shoulder blades. It's moving up my throat. Grimace. Visualizations of nastiness. Nasty, grotesque bug. It seems to be moving inconsistently. So I'm going to choose to pull myself away from that. I take a breath. I could feel the compression of my body responding to this intrusion. So I go to my heart space, and I can feel the tension there. I could feel the way my heart space is pressurizing. Now inside my awareness is the urge to do something about it. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Do something about it. Do something about it. That's the feeling inside my body. It's an impulse. It's not even a thought. Language. It's not language. It's a expression of do something about it. It feels on the left side of my head. It feels like the left side of my brain is creating this impulse. Now, if I go into my throat space, like fully, and start to kind of look at the whole as opposed to focus completely on the part, I can feel the movement of my breath inside. can feel a swallow. Swallow feels thick, viscous, but like thick like bubbles thick, not thick like oil thick. Sensation in my mouth and my tongue, my whole head. Like there's just so much information that my head is processing. I can hear two birds, a car moving, that's going to be gone in a minute. I hear a weed whacker of some kind. There's a bird making a consistent working, like a sawing, tapping kind of going on. The wind, the breeze, I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. In that context, the bug has just is what it is. It has nothing more to it. There's just the sensation of it moving, but there's no impulse to do anything about it per se. That can show up, but it's not really there. It was there, but it's not there now. There's no suffering with the bug. It's just. And there's also an element of trust now. The bug's been on my throat for however long it's been, and there haven't been any dramatic changes in sensation. It's been pretty constant. Because I trust the bug. Trust the bug. Part of me was like, don't fuck me over, bug. It's just kind of quiet. It's a word that could be used to describe this experience is stillness. You're not moving. And then underneath all that is breath and body doing its thing. Changing. Just change, really. There's this, then there's that. The constant is my emptiness. With emptiness as the constant, everything is allowed. Everything. So whatever's coming in is allowed. Now you could say that that's foolish. But if you allow everything just as it is, and you practice from the awareness of the allowance as opposed to what you are allowing, then the same way you can get good at any one thing in particular, become more efficient, more effective, more interactive, more participatory, more fluid. The same way you can do that with one thing in particular is the same way you can do that with awareness itself. Now, when looked at from the perspective of the art of peace, that's interacting. But you're not interacting from a space of this is the way it should be. You're interacting from a space of emptiness. So the bug can be anything it wants. Anything. And I, the practitioner of awareness, I get to choose how to interact with whatever shows up. And because whatever is showing up is changing, then my participation with change is becoming more and more fluid, almost like the way my biology over time has become more and more fluid, more adapted. We didn't evolve to have a temperature of 98.6 degrees by simply 98.6 degrees. Our bodies, our beings evolved by interacting with change over and over and over and over and over again. And nature does it from the perspective of just being. It's just awareness. Nature doesn't have, from what we understand, the capacity to idea or identify with what's happening. There's just simply what's happening. And that's emptiness. A tree interacts with nature without expecting nature to be one way or another, because whatever way nature is going to be is how the tree is going to interact with it. But because we have ideas, because we have the ability to choose, to identify, or to interact with, because we have that choice, we have over time come to recognize certain things that are of value, of last. And the art of peace is an attempt to pass on those ideas. Alright, so here's the 48th stanza. A true warrior is always armed with three things: the radiant sword of pacification, the mirror of bravery, wisdom and friendship, and the precious jewel of enlightenment. A true warrior is always armed with the three things. A true warrior is always armed with the three things: a radiant sword of pacification, the mirror mirror of bravery, wisdom, and friendship, and the precious jewel of enlightenment. King.